Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Today we're doing episode 2 of How to Minecraft. If you don't know what that is, this is a series on my channel where I'm going to be teaching beginners to Minecraft Java Edition about Minecraft. In today's episode, I'm going to be teaching you all the settings that you can change when creating a world, and all the settings you can change when you're in your Minecraft world. In the last episode, I taught you all the controls of Minecraft, so you should go ahead and watch that. There will be a link in the description. But let's get on with today's video. We're going to start off with the game mode. There are 3 different game modes: survival, hardcore, and creative. And I'm going to show you a little demo of each one and the differences. Because when you're starting Minecraft, you might have no idea what the difference between the 3 is. So here we go. Survival is the first demo I'm going to talk to you about. In survival, you have a health bar and a hunger bar. Your health bar shows you how close you are to dying, and your hunger bar shows you how much food you have, and if you run out of food, you won't be able to sprint. You may remember in the last video, we had a huge list of blocks in our inventory, and here we don't. That's because we were in creative mode. But instead of just choosing a random block from that huge list, you can break blocks and pick them up in survival. But every block has a different amount of time it takes to break. You can see it took me longer to break the wood log than it did to break the grass. There's also tools that can make everything go a little faster, but we'll talk about that later. So once you have a block, let's take the birch log, for example. You put it into the crafting menu, and you get birch planks. That's how you get different kinds of blocks for different uses. And last but not least, if you are underwater, you'll have little air bubbles pop up, so you know how long you have until you run out of air and you start taking damage. I'm going to take damage so that you can tell what happens when you die. When you die, this menu will come up, and it will give you the option to respawn or go to the title screen. I'm going to respawn, and it'll bring you right back to wherever in the world is your spawn point at that time. The next demo I have for you is the hardcore demo. Everything about hardcore is basically the same, but when you look at the health bar, it's a little bit different. You can see there's like little weird lines in it. So everything you do is the same: hunger, health. The only difference is when you die. As you can see, my health bar going down like normal, but instead of respawning, I get the option for spectator world or title screen. In spectator, you cannot actually touch anything. So, if you die in hardcore, your world is gone forever, which makes this game mode so difficult. And that's the only difference between survival and hardcore. Last game mode that I have to show you, it's the creative one. We were already playing in this, so we kind of know a little bit about it already. As you can see, there is no health bar or hunger bar. It's basically just a free building world. In your inventory, you can grab any block or item you can ever wish for that's in the game, pretty much. And there is no crafting, but who needs to craft when you can just get any item from your inventory? Breaking blocks is instantly, and the only way to actually get a block is to grab it from your inventory and then place it. Since it's all instant, there is no taking different times to break blocks, and this is the only game mode where you can fly, too. So, since you have no health bar, you can't also die, so I'm not going to try and show you that because there's no point. You're not going to die. Now that I've shown you a little preview of each of the game modes, let's move on to the next settings. Difficulty. There are 4 difficulties that you can choose when creating your world: normal, hard, peaceful, or easy. Each one comes with its highs and lows, a little bit of differences, and you can choose based on your skill level. The next one is allow cheats. When allow cheats is on, you can do commands like /game mode or /experience /time set and other commands like that can change some things or give you special items, do a bunch of different things. Data packs is where you would deal with your mods. If you wanted to play with a mod or a texture pack, you would go here, but you don't have to. Game rules, there's a lot of different options. And throughout here, you can choose things to stop drowning. So you can turn that off if you really hate drowning and you're doing something you don't want to drown in. Though some people consider this cheating, but since Minecraft has no rules, you can do whatever you like. You can turn keep inventory on, so if you die, you can keep all your inventory, or a bunch of different things. Whatever you decide to do. This here's more world options. If you click that, there's a bunch more things on this page. This right here is called the seed for the world generator. Every Minecraft world has a seed, and you can either choose a seed, or you can leave it blank for it to randomize itself. A seed is basically a bunch of numbers or letters or whatever that makes up a Minecraft world. Generate structures. Now this, if it is on, it will generate structures like villages, outposts, a bunch of different things like dungeons, anything like that. If you turn it off, nothing will generate. So everything that you usually run into and loot won't be there. So depending on what you're doing, you might want to leave that on, might want to turn it off, up to you. Now world type. There is 5 different types of worlds. First, you have the default world, which is basically just random, nothing special in it, just a normal Minecraft world. Then, there is super flat, so there are no mountains, it's all one height, and if you have generate structures, the only structures that will spawn are villages. Next is large biomes, which just means that all the biomes, instead of their normal size, are just bigger. Amplified. This one requires a really good computer, or else you're gonna have a lot of lag. This one basically just makes giant mountains and cliffs and hills and stuff, and it's really cool, but it's super laggy, so you might want a beefy computer if you're gonna play on that one. And then there's single biomes, so you can choose out of all of these biomes what biome you'd like your single biome thing to be. If you really wanted to build, let's say, in a swamp biome, you could just choose swamp biome out of here, and you could build in a swamp biome the whole time. The last one, actually, is bonus chest. If the bonus chest is on, when you create the world, where you spawn, there will be a chest with 4 torches around it, with some basic items like blocks, food, and other things that could help you get started in your Minecraft world. Now let's move on. So before we do the last settings, let's go through some of the game menu stuff. Here we can see the advancements. So you can go through all of these. These are all the advancements you can get in Minecraft. So like some really weird things. What a deal! Successfully trade with a villager. Use a totem of undying to cheat death. Just some cool things that you could try and work towards. Next are statistics. In here you can see everything that you've done pretty much. From distance walked to time played, jumps and mob kills and items dropped. And then you can also go under items. This was in general. This is under items. Under items, you can see the times mined of each one of these items you've touched or played with. you can also see the times broken. So if you used a helmet and it broke, then that would show up under here. Times crafted would be every time you've crafted something. So if you crafted it, it would show up under here too. Times used would be placing blocks. So if you've ever placed the blocks or thrown an ender pearl or something like that, those would show up there. Picked up is like when you break a block and you go to pick it up. That's what that would be. And then dropped. So if you ever threw an item, that's where this would go. Under mobs, you can see everything you've killed or have been killed by. I killed a squid earlier, and I've never been killed by a squid. And I've never been killed by anything so far. All those would show up here, though. Next, we have give feedback. If you want to give feedback about the game, you can copy it to clipboard or open it and deal with that. Or you can report a bug, which is kind of similar, just goes to a different place. Then you have open to LAN, which deals with multiplayer. You might want a different tutorial because I'm not going into this today, but you can start a LAN world and play with your friends if you wanted to. And now we're moving on to the options. This will be the last section of the entire video, hopefully. First, you see this at the top, FOV. If you look at the background behind all the settings, you can see what's happening to my screen. FOV will make it zoom in or zoom out kind of. So I leave mine at normal, but you can do whatever you want with that. You can also change the difficulty here. Skin customization, you can choose what's on and what's off of your thing and change your main hand and all that kind of stuff. But that doesn't really matter. Next we have music and sounds. In here, you can choose to turn up your volume or different things. So players are at 100%. Everything's at 100% except the master volume, which is 60, and I don't have music on. You can also select device system, speakers, or default, show subtitles, which if they are on, and go back to the game, show subtitles will tell me footsteps in the bottom right corner. Now let's do video settings. In here there's more. Full screen resolution, that I don't really worry about. I would just leave it alone. Biome blend can blend your biomes better, but it can be laggy, so I would just be careful when playing with that. You can have here is graphics, so you can choose based on your computer what graphics you would like. So you reduce the amount of visible rain and snow, transparency effects are disabled, or you can have fancy, which balances performance and quality for the majority of machines. And then there is fabulous, which uses shaders for drawing weather, and it can also cause a lot more lag, so I leave mine at fancy. Render distance shows how far you can see. Though the higher the render distance, the laggier the game can be, so be careful with that one. And simulation distance is how far things will load in. So you can see 16 chunks, but only 10%, 10 chunks will actually have mobs and things like that. Smooth lighting, you can have maximum or off, minimum, basically just for the best lighting. I leave mine at maximum. Max frame rate. So when I was figuring out how to play Minecraft for myself, I had this all the way up. But the problem with doing that is your game will be extremely laggy. You might not be able to move based on whatever computer you're using. I was just using a laptop when I started, so it was super laggy. So I've turned it down. I saw this on another tutorial, I don't remember when, but I turned it down to 30 or 20 now, and it seems to run a lot faster and a lot better in my case anyway. View bobbing, Pretty sure that's when you're like fishing, things will bob up and down. GUI scale. So if you find this stuff, like this menu is too big, you can actually make it really tiny, or a little bigger, or just put it at auto. Attack indicator. So when you're playing, you see this crosshair in the middle of your screen. Go back. That's what this is. Attack indicator. Mine's at crosshair, but you can have a hotbar, which would look like you have like a little sword thing in the mid, right where your hand would be. Or you can turn it off, which will give you nothing underneath your little crosshair. But I like to leave mine at the crosshair. Brightness, you can turn down the brightness, so how bright you want your game to be. You can have it moody, you can have it like all the way up to bright. Clouds, you can have clouds off, fast, fancy, or just so the cloud's going by if you wanted clouds. Full screen on. Basically just makes your game full screen. Particles, which are the things like the little tiny dots or whatever they are that float around when you like drink a potion, or some mobs have them. So I have mine at decreased so that it doesn't lag your game as much. Minimal, you can have like as many or as few as possible. Then you can have all particles, and that's about it. Entity shadows means that everything like not blocks, but like mobs and your character will all have shadows. So distortion effects is basically when you have a nausea potion or are going through the nether portal, it might tone down the distortion, because that can not be good for everybody. Might make you sick or something. So this controls how much the field of view can change with speed effects. So if you have a speed effect on, it'll like zoom you out or zoom you in if you have slowness, and this will change how much that happens. And this is autosave indicator. So this most likely tells you when it's autosaving and when it's not. If you have it off, it doesn't tell you. And that would be all for video settings. So now let's move on to controls. You can go into mouse settings. You can like turn up your sensitivity and your scroll sensitivity, touch screen mode, off or on. So sensitivity would make your mouse go really fast. If you have it like hyperspeed, it would go super fast. If you had it at like yawn. Based on how fast you like your mouse, that will choose how far you have it. I leave mine about 114, but you can adjust that to your liking. Scroll sensitivity, similar, just with your scroll wheel on your mouse. Touchscreen mode would be on if you have like a touchscreen on your computer, then you could use touchscreen and play on there. You can invert your mouse so everything you do will be inverted in the game. You can hold sneak or toggle sneak. I like to hold it so I don't forget to untoggle it. Auto jump is if you run up to a block, it'll jump for you. But most people get really annoyed because you jump when you don't want to jump. So I keep that off. Keybinds, so you can choose which keys are which button. So if you didn't like your controls maybe being A, D, S, and W, maybe you could change them to like T, F, G, or H. I don't know. Random buttons. But you could change any of those controls, like picking blocks or using items. Under sprint, you can also choose whether to hold it or toggle it. I also keep it on hold because I do not like toggling things, because I always forget to toggle them off and then wonder why it's not working or I'm going too fast. Next is language. In here, you can actually pick like one of a lot of different languages. There's so many: Australian, Canada, US, or like there's so many different ones. Pretty sure there's even like one that Mojang made up, but I don't know exactly where it is. You can also force Unicode. font, so it's like more legible if you can't read it 100%. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you leave a like, subscribe, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss another video. And I'll see you all next time. Goodbye!